Well, I can't remember what it says in there, but I think it says 9% we're using as the first year. And then at the end of that year, we'll look at what the actual total was and then adjust the last quarterly billing to reflect the correct percentage, and then whatever that last bill will be totally accurate. And then what we'll do for estimating the quarterly payments for the following year, for the first 3 quarters, we'll use the previous year's actual percentage for the first 3 quarters, and then that 4th quarter will again readjust based upon what the actual numbers are.
Okay, so it's your 4th quarter that you're doing the adjustment to reflect the change if there is any.
That's correct.
So the automatic renewal will still include adjustments accordingly, and that's all I was concerned with, because it said up to a maximum of 7 years, so we are looking at that.
That's right.
As an adjustment on a regular basis.
Every year, yep.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Any other comments from council members? Go ahead and call the question. Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Ms. Vogt.
Yes.
Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Mr. Liss.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Comartin.
Yes.
Mr. Bachmino.
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
Thank you.
Item D was removed from the agenda. Item 14E, consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk to amend contract and execute amendment to National Field Services Corporation relating to the purchase and implementation of software for the water system RFP-W-7738.
Need a motion and support?
Motion to approve?
Motion by Mr. Sadowski.
Support.
Support by Mr. Stevens. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Mr. Liss.
Yes, you do.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Pawlikowski.
Good evening, Council.
I've read your memo and some of the supporting documentation. Am I understanding this correctly that you want to change from IDC software to BSA software?
On the cash receipting program, yes.
And the contractor for the water meter replacement program will purchase the BSNA software?
That is correct.
Okay. Tell me, I read your memo, and I understand that you're looking at certain improvements and efficiencies that there doesn't seem to be quite the connectivity between IDC software and that BSNA would have for cash receipts and other programs. Can you go over that a little bit?
Yes. Currently, we have under the old system IDC utility billing. We have BSNA software for the property taxes and BNSA software for the billing department. Our cash receipts is IDC. We have no direct link between IDC and those other 3 platforms. It's all through manual export and manual import into those programs by the various departments. When we started with the BSNA utility billing implementation, we found out these shortcomings, and based on that, we know that if we put the BSNA utility billing in place, we would have direct registration of payments at the teller's office, the treasurer's office, on the time the payments are made. That will immediately update all 3 of those platforms in the other departments. Today, we do not have that. So it puts us at an inconvenience, particularly in certain circumstances when we're dealing with delinquent water accounts. We have to have those people who are delinquent, we turned off their services, they have to come to the water department, make arrangements, then go down to the teller's area, make payment, and then they have to come back up to us to show us proof of payment. Because sometimes people go down there and we got to see proof of payment before we can turn back on their water services. With the BSNA directly coupling with our utility billing, as soon as they go down and make the payment, we will have immediate posting at that time. So that will save the customers a trip back and forth because we're on the 4th floor. As you know, the treasurer's on the second floor, so we have clients come to the fourth floor, back to the second floor, and then back up to the fourth floor. So yes, it will save us and will help us with a system that's more robust than what we have currently. And we discovered all this during the implementation over the last month and a half, because we conducted over 300 hours of training with BSNA personnel here with our people, teaching them how to use the utility billing. This is how these items started to come out. We've also discovered other shortcomings down in the treasurer's office with, I'll call it, the lack of user-friendliness with the IDC software down there. So there are some other problems down there also. Hopefully that gives you some idea, at least helps you understand why we made the request to have this added to the meter program to get this done.
Have you performed a study to see how much time and or money these new capabilities would save the city?
I do not have that information. I just know that when we were in there doing this over the last month, we saw these shortcomings. Obviously, there will be some efficiencies realized. What they are in real numbers, I cannot quantify that for you at this time.
Will the water meters that we're installing, are they send the data? Can they send the data to IDC software? How does the data get into the system?
Okay, the data comes in. You talk about meter reads. How does it get into the system? Well, how it gets into the system, we purchased the Alclara fixed base reading system. That system picks up the reads, 2 reads every day. Then at the end of a month, when we're ready, we will import the appropriate reads directly into the BSNA utility software.
Well, how,
And then from that, the billing is calculated within the BSNA software.
let's say we didn't have BSNA software. How would it get into our computers?
Repeat your question?
You're saying that these water meters are read every day,
Yes.
and then at the end of the month, they get ready, the data is compiled and it's put together for a bill. If we didn't have the BSNA software, how would the data get into the computers?
Well, the data gets into the utility billing for the water department. That data is available at the treasurer's. When the payments come in, those payments are posted against that. So as soon as we upload the reads, it goes right into the BSNA utility, and all the accounts are converted into what the bills are for each and every count. That is immediately available within our system. Now, when the tellers collect the payments at the window, with the BSNA utility software, that would post there and immediately post into the utility billing.
I understand that portion of it. The question was mostly directed at data collection.
The data collection is done automatically. It's done every day from the MTU in your house through a data collector, and that is transmitted to the city's central computer. That's the reading system. Then the Alclara reading system exports into the water utility billing BSNA directly.
Well, you're still not answering my question. You're asking for an additional. You're asking for another program in addition to the BSNA suite of software to complete that task.
That's correct.
All right. If you did not have that extra software from BSNA, how would the job get done?
We have to do manual imports out of the IDC into BSNA.
Okay.
That'd be manual, just like it is today. All you would be doing is taking the IDC utility billing out and putting BSA in there. If we don't make it so that it can communicate with the BS utility software, we would have to do it with a manual process.
I thought that was the whole point of this program, that when that was presented to council, that this would be a vertical, seamless billing system, that the water meters would be installed in the homes, the data would be transmitted to the city computers, the city computers would generate the bill, we'd send the billing data over to our printer, and the printer would mail it. And what I'm hearing here is that we need the BSNA software in order to be able to do that.
We need the BSNA cash receipting to make it so that when the payments are posted, it posts directly to the BSNA utilities software. Currently, we do not have that. We do not have that with the IDC platforms. It's manual, and if we do not change that, it'll stay manual. And what it does, it delays the posting by a day. That means if you came in and paid your bill today, we would not get the posting entered until the following day. And it has to be done with a manual expert.
Who's we? Who's we wouldn't get the posting?
Okay. The export's done by the Treasurer's Office, and the import is done by Water Accounting.
Okay, so it's the water department that wouldn't get that data as
They
to
would get that
payments.
data imported, and they have to put it in manually into the system.
What would be the problem if the water department didn't get that billing information or the payment information in a day?
Okay? If you came in and you paid your water bill and you were delinquent, we have to have you come up and have us verify that manually before we can go out and turn that water on.
How many delinquent payments or payments of delinquent bills do you get in a year?
Well, the process, you remember, part of us buying the BSNA water utility billing was to get the aging system. We do not have aging. We have roughly 7,000 delinquent accounts that we would start to go after. And when we get into turning off the waters for forfeiture, failure to pay, we will see that increase. We have not been real aggressive in that area over the last several years. We just started that this fall, and we're going through a learning process right now with that.
I understand, but what's the number?
I do not have a number for you on that.
Okay, I mean, there's, what, approximately 53,000 water accounts in the city?
Correct?
Any guesstimate? I won't hold you to it.
It'd be strictly a swag, and there's no way I could confirm that number for you, to be honest with you.
That presents a problem to me. I mean, the request is for $52,711 and no cents. And it may be a major problem where people are coming in and there may be 100 a month that are paying their delinquent bills, or it may be 5 a month. And I just don't see the need to spend close to $53,000 without knowing.
I'd like to correct you on the fee. The fee is $45,700. That includes software, training, and hardware. If you look, the number is $45,700 for that purchase. That
Okay,
includes
I'm
hardware and
looking at
software and training.
I'm looking at the spending savings in your efforts. With the new BSNA, let's call it the new module software, does this price also include maintenance agreements for the software, update
The
agreements?
45.7 includes a $7,000 maintenance agreement for first year. Each year after that is $7,000.
$7,000 a year to maintain this upgrades on the software.
We also pay for IDC, but I don't know what the cost is to maintain our system.
Have
because
you
they
dealt-
do charge us.
Have you dealt with BSNA?
Have I?
Yes, sir. In what capacity?
I find BSNA to be very reputable and to be a software company that's doing an excellent job in this area with you.
I've dealt with BSNA. They're one of the largest companies that provides municipal software. Also includes teller hardware, including printers, et cetera.
That's right.
At $3,900.
Correct.
What is why the need to? I mean, $3,900 for a printer is a really nice printer.
The printers are $700 a piece.